Hi, everyone. It's Kathleen Selmans from KathleenSelmans.com. That's Kathleen Selmans, Celmins. And I am here to talk about a couple of things that have come up lately. I'm working with a really great client who is running a webinar to a course she just created, which is a really good time actually to do that kind of thing because people have a little bit more downtime when they're not commuting. So they're able to focus on some other things that they may not have been able to before. So if you're in the like home stretch of creating a course, then now's a great time to create a webinar. But I need to let you in on a mistake that I made that I don't think that I needed to make. And since I didn't need to make it, you don't either. So here it is. Keep your registration forms on your site. Keep it all on your site. Don't let your webinar provider, no matter who it is, don't let them be responsible for all your emails. They're not good at sharing them with you. So a lot of the platforms just don't show them to you very easily. You can't export a CSV very easily. So here's what you do instead. You keep it all on your site. You make yourself responsible for all the follow-up. You can create a form on your page that links to your ActiveCampaign, your ConvertKit, your MailChimp, whatever email provider you have. Then you tag them with the upcoming date. And then you can just send emails to the people that have signed up for that date. If I had taken this advice last week, I would have saved myself 15 hours of trying to grind through and make the webinar platform registration page and thank you page and all of that match exactly what I wanted it to look like. And it didn't. And because it didn't, and because it couldn't, because there's limitations, it just was such a good reminder of why you should never let that happen. And also, I have heard some really bad hiccups happen. I know someone who spent $1,500 on advertising for their live webinar only to have everything go through the webinar provider, and the emails lagged and they didn't get reminded. So she spent $1,500, 800 people signed up, so she had to expand her package on the webinar provider, and like 32 people showed up because that last reminder email is super important, and it was all just hung up. And so the people who got the reminder, they did all eventually get the reminder, but like in the middle of the night. And so the reason you want to make sure you are responsible for that is because ActiveCampaign's not going to do that. ConvertKit's not going to do that. They are email providers. Remember, I think it's really important to remember this. And again, I am speaking to myself a week ago. Had I taken this advice, my week would have been significantly smoother, and I would have appeared a lot more professional with this client. Keep in mind that no matter what a piece of software says it can do, most software has one job. ActiveCampaign's job is to keep track of your email. ConvertKit's job is email. Your webinar provider's job is to make sure that encoding works and strangers don't get in and the video quality is high and you're sharing, all of that stuff is important on a webinar. But the webinar provider isn't responsible for your email, so don't make them do all of those things. Don't make them be your landing page. That can be on your site. It should be on your site. And if you take this advice, then you will have a smoother process and you'll have a much more coherent brand cohesiveness throughout, where it's, people are coming to your site, they're going to your site, they're staying on your site, they get emails from you that are branded by you. That all of that is part of the importance of getting people to show up. And especially because a lot of the language around in these other webinar platforms is very casual. So if you are targeting somebody that's corporate, you want to make sure that you don't have these like "Hey bro" emails that come up. And so just keep the forms on your site, connect them to your email service provider, add your add to calendar buttons on your site. You can do all of that without having to involve the webinar provider. Thanks so much. I will be back on Wednesday with another tip. Have a good week.